Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'm finally doing it. It's been nearly 7 years. What else do I even gotta say? We're bringing back a classic ranking today, even though Galaxy 2 is the weird retconny universe reset-y sequel to Super Mario Galaxy initially planned as additional content that tends to focus more on solid platforming and gameplay at the cost of openness and world building compared to Galaxy 1. It's still an amazing game. I don't even know which philosophy I prefer myself sometimes, but we're breaking it all down to the level design, atmosphere, music, gameplay gimmicks, and just vibes. And yes, boss galaxies are included this time round, and nope, the comets will barely play a factor in the galaxy's ranking unless they really impressed me, or more likely pissed me off. Although, hidden stars are usually worth considering. They can be really cool unless it's one of these scumbags making me do all his work. So with that all said, this is every galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy 2 ranked. In a great game like Galaxy, what could possibly be the worst galaxy? The all too predictable star ball or flooded levels, forced use of the spring mushroom, something just too despicably difficult for me to complete? No, it's just a level from a vastly inferior game. What the hell are we doing here, guys? Yes, it's from Mario Sunshine, but wasn't the whole challenge there the removal of FLUDD and that the game's physics were joyous and whimsical? Here they give you the Cloudflower or Yoshi, which makes this version, a World S level, stupidly simple. Mario is also far slower in this game, with the spin to catch any stupid overjumps. I don't care that it's a callback, the only returning challenge is those f***ed up physics. How's this for a callback? With or without challenge, both in the worst ways possible, this level is so inexcusably bland that it has to place last. It's just a bunch of wood blocks. Oh, Lachie, that's disingenuous. You're forgetting about the cogs. Because that's what this shit was missing. S tier! Look, other than that last crap show of a galaxy, F tier might seem pretty harsh, but this is in relation to Super Mario Galaxy 2. If we had to rank Overwatch Wrecking Ball on this list, it would obviously throw the whole scale out of whack. Blizzard, please remove hero bands. I can't play my scrunkly bunkly hamster anymore, please. That all said, Slipsand Galaxy is just annoying. Not only is the color palette drab, its equally grim level design has you fight against zooming sand or doom scrolling while Mario takes a boring ride over quicksand. This gravity puzzle bit is at least thematically fun. This other one I ignored, however. It's like you've got 2 plus 2 in front of you, but someone's just throwing sand at you. The puzzle is not fun just because you've got a guy throwing sand at me. It's fucking annoying. Rolling Masterpiece Galaxy can't be much of a masterpiece if I'm rolling on the star ball. It's so slow, and you can barely steer this thing going even kinda fast. This'll pair well with a bunch of walls behind the camera on a spherical planet, methinks. You ever wanted to try platforming on roller skates? Well, when the star ball inconsistently doesn't erase all your momentum randomly after a jump, you can see exactly what it's like to carry all of it instead. I just don't have the attention span for this one. My god, it's so boring, and I keep making it worse every time I try and speed this fucking thing up. Guys, what's your favorite thing about Mario? Did you say combat? I think I heard combat. Did someone say combat? Maybe sitting out in the back there?
Man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
Flash Black Galaxy combines 2 gimmicks, with the blue Yoshi Fruit's Perpetual Ascension pit against a flashing light to give you a brief window to correct your path. It's interesting for like 2 seconds, but it just gets slow. And then we just go back to regular platforming to collect silver stars, which is pretty bog standard if you have the patience. I don't, but that's beside the point. The star ball returns in a slightly more fitting layout with a straight shot to the goal at top speed. It's actually really boring until the diabolical curvature forces you towards this gap, rocketing you forward on landing, then demanding you screech to a halt and steer right as hard as you can. You can't even jump the gap. Help me! Galaxy's slower and stiffer controls certainly don't thrive in 2D platforming levels. Since the goal is now purely to go from left to right, a lot more focus is inevitably drawn to your speed in doing so, or lack thereof. Reusing this moving platform with different gravity on it over and over again certainly doesn't add much excitement to that goal either. But isn't D tier kinda harsh? No, f you, f you, f you, f you. Even though the bee mushroom allows for a lot more diverse challenges, it also makes your movement even slower, especially with the flight stamina. It all just drags on far too long. This galaxy is a lazily reused planet from Galaxy 1, but it's spiced up with stupidly fast obstacles that provide a fair challenge and fun opportunities to manipulate time. Beat Block is not very complex at all and very short, but truly challenges your platforming with precise timing in a fun way. I like that precision. I expected a lot more from Boulder Bowl, with a basic introduction to Rock Mario. That's it. Rock Mario is disgustingly underutilized. With 3 planets, you just find the breakable thing, progress to the boss. There's no second mission, there's nothing more with the idea, just a hidden star where this guy wants a Goomba. Did he just fucking taxidermy it? His soul is gone! Invisible platforms themed around sweets that really don't inform much level design. It's quite novel in that you don't know what's coming until it's right there, but there's not much further depth here. Grandmaster Galaxy is supposed to be the big final challenge level, but it really isn't that hard after 238 stars of practice. Click the flowers, outrun lasers at a moderate pace, make some cloud platforms. Half of this shit is a waste of time until we get to these inconsistent shockwaves that are rough to account for in your jumps. After that, yeah, it's a great challenge. But there's really only 4 tough sections. Compared to something like 3D World's Champions Road, that's a gauntlet. It's not just challenging, but creatively reflexive with its mechanics, pushing the limits of the game and your skill set. And to lower it further, it's the epitome of just random floating crap built purely as a level in a video game, averaging all out to C tier. There's a novelty in big guys and blocks, with cute little tricks flipping off of a rotating coin and dodging massive piranha plants, and that's everything novel they came up with. The rest is your standard platforming fare. Gliding on Fluzzard with tilt controls feels surprisingly responsive, buoyant, and liberating. There's no drag to speak of. The soundtrack is delightfully fitting, but the course itself is a bit too breezy, as there's very little to engage the player's efforts in this short glide. Although the Comet's race amends that slightly. Great fun for such a small galaxy, though learn the hard way the chomps can switch directions. The ultimate juxtaposition of a great first star helping this chomp navigate its path with switches and platforms, up against a fucking spring mushroom. Thank God Luigi's jumps let me cheese the entire thing. I ain't picking that shit up. The hot red pepper Yoshi is a joy to see run up the walls and turn at a moment's notice up these curving walls, but the slow falling rock platforms are so far off that high, it lands this short galaxy of random floating obstacle courses in C tier. This one might just be an 8-bit Mario, and while flipping all the panels is fun, the purple coin comet drastically elevates this galaxy with the best use of Cosmic Mario clones yet on a small open planet where you're intersecting over your path constantly. There will be close calls. It's Upside Dizzy Galaxy, but far more developed, with more enemies and diversity in the gravity switching, to the point where you go on the walls for a top-down perspective. Even this guy's nonsense was tolerable here. More gravity switching, but now at your own leisure to navigate the tricky terrain how you see fit, whether it be ground pounding or drilling, which is far more engaging. Except for this silver star hunt, that can get really frustrating. The final level of the main game deploys a whole bunch of previously established mechanics, and for as cool as half of them are, I don't care for the others. Battling required enemies and the whole drill section slow the pace of the climactic final gauntlet to a crawl, as the snake block just as well could have, but luckily they added a bit of flair to that section with the Blargs and Yoshi. The final Bowser fight is pretty great until he fake dies and you get this chilling new score for the fight, and it's over. And to this day I've never heard that full song in the game. A rematch against all the bosses of Mario Galaxy 1. That the game doesn't tell you how to fight. You think I remember this guy? Nowhere am I told that I need to ground pound this mole out. That aside, these are pretty well designed fights, especially Boulder Geist, who makes the speedrun Comet a fucking nightmare with those hands, my god! Running around every dimension as you're thrown every which way is thrilling. I would have loved this to expand further into 3D space. Eating bullet bills with Yoshi and having a limited reaction window to shoot them where you need is super engaging, except when it's not because I'm impatient as hell. Hurry up! Junior makes a creative fight out of it all too, with shockwaves and blocking its weak points. Yet my impatience knows no bounds, so this Comet was dreadful, just waiting and wasting my chance countless times over to the point Lubba just had this over her head trying to tell me to take a break. Stupid ass star, we're done when I say we're done. Freezy Flake started out mid as hell with the limited time Fire Flower. I hate this gimmick, but they go on to make rare use of the Rock Mushroom in a Starchip scavenger hunt, drop you in a snowy haze where you gotta find your own way, and throw out a boss with a very small weak point who rolls around surprisingly unpredictably. It all came around somehow. Slimy Spring features a nice glide through the water and a straight shot with the Koopa Shell while blinding enemies and using dash rings. But what's with this tranquil, beautiful ambience at the end? And what's with this little star asset that just wiggles around Captain Toad for a second? I really enjoy tough platforming over spherical planets. It's something really only Galaxy can thrive at and expand to its fullest extent. This one's just so short, even though Gobblegut is an absolute blast of manipulating his landing point to your advantage while dodging his front end, trying to keep you away from his weak points going through the hole. It's chaotic and I love it. God, this one tormented me with some precise challenges that are admittedly very well crafted despite the difficulty, but it's so visually dull. Its gameplay is just so engaging, forcing you to shake mid-jump to perfectly wall jump back and forth. Junior's Boom Bunker features random continuity with the broken down boss from the Fearsome Fleet level, where you've got to use its barely still functioning bullet bill cannons to advance. You go on to play with some goofy cannons before facing one of the most fun bosses yet, with an emphasis on platforming in a platforming game, as you strategically create your own platforms with the Cloud Flower so they don't get destroyed and float up the fans' wind above the boss's head. It's a blast! Clockwork Ruins is mostly super fun, but simultaneously a little annoying. These rolling boulders are tough to get on, and it's rough getting 30 coins for the hidden star, not to mention 100 purple ones. Or this. Shiverburn has some really great gameplay, despite having an absolute stinker on it myself, with the usual Nintendo shifting ice and lava gimmicks to manipulate the terrain to your will. The only thing is, as we climb higher up on the list, little things like world building start to become more relevant, and I just can't picture this as any kind of real world at all. In this case, we unfortunately have a direct comparison to Galaxy 1 for what that would look like here, and it's like the best Galaxy in the game. Luckily, the Chimps Classic minigame is in full swing here to boost a few points. Yes, Spin Dig Galaxy is a slow-paced drill level, but you actually got to use the drill and your brain to navigate some puzzly areas and get to where you want on the other side of the ground. Same applies loosely to the boss encounter. I don't have nearly as much goodwill towards Galaxy 2's first level compared to Good Egg Galaxy, but Sky Station is certainly not a bad start. However, it's not particularly remarkable until its second star as you infiltrate what feels like an actual Sky Station of some kind of fortress with bonsai bills on the defense. But I hated killing this poor baby Pee-wee Piranha. Game theory might have been onto something.
Murderous, womanizing animal abuser.
The fuzzered controls are as tight as ever, with a far more chaotic aerial onslaught to endure that proves rather tense and spectacular, especially as you spiral around this whole section to pass through all the gates for the Comet medal. That part might be a bit too rough because you're forced so close to the ground without any room to pull up again. I get why Wild Glide couldn't be nearly as complex, the mechanics are tough to master, but this is way better. Took me a while to win this race too, that bird does not let up. No, wait! No! Beyond the B tier, we have absolute nostalgia pandering, and being born in 03, they made sure it'd work on me too. Womp's Fortress is just as open as ever, despite its little parkour challenges everywhere as you ascend towards the objective. You're pretty free to tackle this one however you see fit, especially with the Silver Star mission letting it shine, just like the old Red Coin missions. The King Womp fake out is silly, but super charming too. This is so solid for the second level. It's such a memorable introduction to Yoshi's mechanics where every layer of it is developed perfectly. There's all the eating he can do, the flutter jumping, flower flipping, platforming as he pulls levers and handles, and the spitting out spinies at enemies or glass. Yeah, there's certainly a pattern emerging amidst my top tier galaxies. The livelier, the open, the better. Honey Hive is still far more expansive as a home for the bees, but Honey Hop provides lovely Bee Mario platforming in both 2D and 3D, way more open than Honey Bloom, with different areas to go to in whatever order compels you. It breaks away from this game's often overwhelming linearity. Shunned to the bottom of the list, I didn't forget about the f***ing wood blocks. From first landing in Bowser's lava lair, that Bowser's road rearrangement is just perfect, marching you on against a surprising amount of roadblocks for the game's first Bowser level. With Mattermouths tearing away at the carpet, Womps, Flomps, Magic Koopas casting spells on the snake block, perspective shifts, spheroid planet platforming, the introduction to a truly exciting Bowser boss formula as you guide Bowser away from destroying your fight-winning planetoids. It's a tightly crafted first face-off. I underestimated this one for too long. All of its gimmicks play with this idea of terrain that phases out of both sight and existence, with shifting paths, Mattermouths again, the debut of the Glowberry for Yoshi as you uncover this entire invisible mansion with hidden pitfalls, walls, and paths to trip you up the whole way. It's awesome. Puzzle Plank may have my favorite song in the game, but I gotta hold myself back. Here, I'll replace it with this lovely rendition of the Mario World theme. There's fantastic platforming and objectives as you shift around puzzle pieces with ground pounds and dodge countless buzzsaws. The Hidden Stars boss fight fantastically utilizes the Cloud Flower to get the high ground against this mosquito guy, but I wouldn't raise it any higher as it pushes the bounds of my immersion with this shit. Have they just been waiting here their entire lives? Why do they live on a bunch of floating wood beams that immediately kill their inhabitants with buzzsaws? And the final boss is just this guy. Cosmic Cove is perhaps the most beautiful theme in the game. Combining a beach with space is always going to craft diabolically tranquil vibes, but this is just too inconsistent of a galaxy to land in S. It's this huge open cove that utilizes swimming mechanics for a delightfully open exploration, but its main mission ends the instant you hit this switch. The second star is all mostly 2D swimming, which was a bit more interesting in floating water cubes, but nothing crazy. Luckily, the Hidden Star has you coin hunting in the open area, and a rabbit chase on ice where I got hit with a damn wombo combo. Fluffy Bluff Galaxy is such an early game gem, with fantastic music and a lovely little world that debuts the Cloud Flower, with use particularly encouraged amidst the watery terrain that'll see the power removed. There are just so many cool planets and platforms that make use of the Cloud Flower. Every part of this ascension through the sky, water, and trees is delightful. I haven't even mentioned the explorative joy of coin collecting behind the tree and finding this hidden sling star on top of it. Cloudy Court truly lets you make the skies your own, as there's far less ground to rely on, but far more opportunities for crazy jumps and careful cloud placement if you take the fans' movement into account. The regal architecture elevates Fluffy Bluff's more grounded ascension to this fantastical wonderland of joy beyond the clouds, which when combined with its relative challenge and its more considered platforming and epic score, makes Cloudy Court a whimsically exciting adventure. And I mean that this time. Of course I love yet another open galaxy. You traverse the whole thing at your own leisure as you piece together exactly how and where you can advance in all these distinct sections of the beach. This especially shines through for the second star mission as you dive into the depths of the bay, through to a tower, reveal the Cloud Flower, then must steer a lily pad through the water to avoid losing the power up as you can finally ascend the titular Cloudy Tower. The lovely scenery and rewarding star missions earn Starshine Beach a top spot. This first star is insane. It's brutally demanding and I love it. Throwing blugs and rising lava waves over frantic pole climbing and jumping. Even the pool stars test your skill and game knowledge as the last couple don't fully line you up with the launch star. It throws out even vine swings and hurricanes that turn Mario into a freaking helicopter. Before you can even process your last success, the next demand arrives with the last stand diving for safety on unscorched planetoids. It's all tough and tense, yet no bullshit to speak of. The second star then randomly has Rock Mario navigate a disgustingly out of place obstacle course for some reason. Luckily, it's a blast to rocket forward, forced to react quickly to narrow platforms and the bouncy boundaries sending you all over the damn place. Ah, Tall Trunk Galaxy, marking my return to the crime scene. Tall Trunk features, most notably, Yoshi and the Blimp Fruit perpetually sending you upwards for a limited time, so you gotta make good use of it before you plummet back to the ground. What better place for it than around a twirling tree with star pieces everywhere, with infinite verticality. Oh, and its second star slide is just fantastic, with again, full three-dimensional freedom through a frantic obstacle course at full speed. The purple coins even fit the course quite well. I can almost forgive this piece of shit for smiting me down after I missed one singular coin. You just couldn't settle for 99 of these coins you somehow spilled down the entire slide? What the f were you doing in the first place? Space Storm Galaxy seems pretty basic, and it kinda is. I just think it pulls off the Mario in space theme perfectly. You start out threading the needle on some of these jumps, cutting it close with electricity as you can barely anticipate what's below you on the spherical tube. Then helping a Bob-omb to navigate under the path below you and make an honorable sacrifice. It's charmingly clever. You've got the spinning top guys causing a ruckus as you clear the way with more Bob-ombs or try and jump around the chaos before finally pulling yourself to the star guarded in electricity. It's a climactic infiltration of this space battleship area. It feels like every last defense is trying to take you down. It's way too epic for Mario. But if they didn't already have me with that first star and score, they bring back this remixed void-based Galaxy Ascension and its score too. And they introduce time manipulation, which is objectively super cool, as it forces you to plan out your route, basically forced to perform calculated wall jumps in order to make it up in time for the temporal catch-up. The theming and variation of obstacles, landscapes, and mechanics makes Space Storm Galaxy this battle of determination and persistence, one of the best and most varied galaxies in Super Mario Galaxy 2. But you might be thinking, Lachie, this is bullshit, you ranked other galaxies low for reusing planets, this isn't fair! And yeah, well that's kinda true. And that's my ranking of every galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy 2. If you remember last time, I said to please be gentle in the comments because this is literally like my third video. This time I don't care, do your worst you little bastards, I stand on business. But if there are any major discrepancies, leave them down below. I might just be revisiting this list sooner than you may think in a combined galaxy ranking. But I say a lot of bullshit, this video was teased 6 years ago, so I'll see you all again in 2031.